Seems to be quite a large town. A lot of people out to look at all of the trucks coming
We
in.
see her where worlds are torn apart, owning the story, making it come alive with depth, insight, revelation, humanity, and with power of facts, of truth.
Just a few yards in either direction, you can see bullet fragments on the ground.
We have been watching this journalist for most, perhaps all of our lives, watching, listening, reading, appreciating Charlayne Hunter-Gault.
The military forces have delivered their first food to the hungry children of Somalia.
And those who know her story know about dreams nearly crushed and about those dreams coming true.
They seem to know.
They know that deep within her, empowering and enriching her body of work, is the spirit of a warrior dreamer. No one else has had to risk more just for the opportunity. Charlayne Hunter-Gault risked her life. January 9th, 1961, Athens, Georgia. 18-year-old Charlayne Hunter-Gault of Atlanta, determined to be a reporter and insisting on attending a top journalism school, walked with fellow Turner High School star student Hamilton Holmes past the University of Georgia's hallowed arch, across the all-white campus and into the academic building. They deflected racial epithets and threats of death. They dodged bricks and bottles hurled at them, and they integrated UGA. It was a decade earlier when Charlayne's childhood dream came alive, dreaming to live the adventurous reporter's life of Brenda Starr, making a troubled world better. The dream quickly matured into an unquenchable passion for real-world journalism. At UGA, she watched reporters like fellow UGA student Tom Johnson, who was just beginning his storied career, cover her and the civil rights movement for the Red and Black and the Macon Telegraph. And Charlayne could not have imagined then how her courage was already empowering the dreams of so many others.
I was a little kid and was just amazed at the impact.
Jacqueline Royster, the dean of the Ivan Allen College of Liberal Arts at Georgia Tech in Atlanta. She and Charlayne now work together on university initiatives. But Dean Royster grew up 30 miles from the UGA campus watching Charlayne on the news, watching her carefully and closely, a lifelong role model.
It was a brave move on her part to be participating in such a dangerous undertaking, such a life-threatening undertaking. And so I absorbed that about her right from the beginning. I thought she was literally a hero. And since then, I have appreciated the way in which her impact did not stop just with that.
It is true that the trailblazer who truly leads creates not followers, but more leaders. Charlayne would break down barriers of race and gender with talent, skill, determination. At The New Yorker, at WRC-TV in Washington, D.C., at The New York Times, becoming Harlem bureau chief, and along the way, convincing the paper of record to stop using the word Negro. Growing, evolving, she took on new challenges, blazing more trails as anchor and correspondent for MacNeil Lehrer.
What do you hope to
where some of the best learned from her.
I was so fortunate to have Charlayne to look to when I first joined the NewsHour, and I continue to marvel decades later at her high ethical standards and her lack of patience for anything but the best. Charlayne, I am so proud to call you not only a valued colleague, but a good friend.
Charlayne supported civil rights organizations and outreach campaigns, honoring the work of others, encouraging them. Here in 1980, presenting an award to Atlanta journalist Alexis Scott at the National Urban League Coalition Conference in Washington, D.C. She's remained close to UGA, guiding journalism students. In 1988, 25 years after she graduated, she became the first African American to deliver a UGA commencement address.
As this now hellaciously hot and dusty day lumbered on slowly, so did any resemblance to the 20th century.
Charlayne has reported from around the world, documenting the devastation from the unending civil war in Somalia, helping expose apartheid in South Africa. She was one of the first journalists to interview future President Nelson Mandela after his release from prison.
In the build-up to today's historic vote,
and she was there to show us the transformation to majority rule, South Africans voting for the first time in their lives. Then she joined NPR, and Peabody judges, she has received 3 Peabodys, said her dispatches simply soared. And CNN, hired by her fellow UGA alum Tom Johnson from nearly 40 years earlier. Journalists across the globe united in respect and appreciation for Charlayne Hunter-Gault.
You've walked through many doors, Charlayne. You've walked through those doors at the University of Georgia. The police helped. Years later, many of us walked through other doors at other universities because you took that risk. You walked through the door of the New York Times. Many years later, many of us did the same thing because you took that risk. By the time you got to public broadcasting, first at PBS and then at NPR, you were striding through doors, flinging them open and daring anyone to keep you out. You knew how to tell a story and how to get others to tell theirs. We learned that from you too.
When I was first at the NewsHour, I took my daughter, age 3, to the company holiday party. Across the room, she saw a tall woman in a long, colorful, flowing dress, her hair tied high in a scarf. Little Sophie stood gaping, eyes wide open, and said, "Daddy, there's a queen at this party." She then followed you, Charlayne, because of course it was you. She followed you around the rest of the night. And why not? I feel like I too followed you around, and what a ride and privilege that's been. You were part of history that I read about in Calvin Trillin's An Education in Georgia. You were a colleague who showed all of us what it was like to be there as history is being made, notably in your remarkable reports from South Africa and around the world.
Charlayne has written 4 books, and at UGA, the academic building where she and Hamilton Holmes enrolled amidst so much resistance, the building now bears their names.
You just voted. How was it?
It was great. It was like a dream.
For most of our lives, we have watched Charlayne Hunter-Gault report not just stories. We have watched her life tell us the singular story of personal courage, the warrior dreamer, fighting to become a journalist, to change the world for the better, succeeding beyond her wildest dreams, so others could see and make their dreams come true, too. Charlayne Hunter-Gault.